Creeps and cretins, welcome back to the Madhouse. I am Master Seth, your master of ceremonies.
And I'm Mistress Dandeli, the queen of creep.
And once again, we are here to bring you another tale of the mysterious and the macabre. Tonight's film is The Bat, starring Vincent Price, 1959. Now, this is we're kind of chilling out here from our past few episodes, you know. We've been watching a lot of fucking Bad Taste and I Drink Your Blood and all that kind of shit.
Coffin Joe.
Good old Coffin. Oh my God, Coffin Joe. So good. I love Coffin Joe.
Me too.
Midnight, I'll take your soul.
But this.
That's the one. But tonight we're gonna relax. We're gonna watch The Bat. Cool little murder mystery.
Very cool.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, it's Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead. You can't go wrong with both of them.
You know, there were. I know it's blasphemy to say, but there were shitty Vincent Price films.
What?
But whenever Vincent Price showed up, the movie turned good.
There you go. Okay, I was gonna say, wait a minute. I've never seen a shitty Vincent Price movie.
The man was a true, consummate professional.
Absolutely.
And he brought his all to every role he played.
I agree.
My favorite actor. But yeah, let's check him out. Let's check him out at work. This is not the best Vincent Price film, but let's watch him save the film in 1959's The Bat on Movies from the Madhouse.
This is the Oaks, a house in the country which I rented for the summer. As an author, I write tales of mystery and murder. But the things that happened in this house were far more fantastic than any story I've ever had published. I brought a staff of servants from my city apartment, and my maid Lizzie Allen, who had been with me nearly 20 years. Lizzie?
Yes, Miss Cornelia.
Is the car ready?
It's at the door. Look, Miss Cornelia, them servants you brought from the apartment are talking about walking out on us.
Really? Well, I know they don't like it here, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, they've been hearing things about the killer that the police call the Bat and the murders that he committed here this past winter. Now people are saying that he's back again.
Well, how can they be sure of that? Has he committed another crime?
No, not yet, but that ain't saying that he won't. Here's something else. You've heard about the bats they have here. Animal bats, the kind that fly.
Yes, yes.
Look what it says in this magazine. This is a report from the State Health Department, and it says some of them bats is rabid.
Well.
And that ain't all. Now there's a rumor going around that it was the bat himself, the killer, I mean, that released the rabid bats in this neighborhood.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, the housekeeper, the cook, the butler, and the upstairs maid don't think so.
Well, I can't help what they think. If hysterical nonsense like that can scare them out of their good jobs, it's their loss, not mine. Come on, Lizzie, I've got to get to the bank. Drive directly to Zenith Bank, Warner. I'm afraid we'll have to hurry. It's near closing time.
I'll get you there, Miss Van Gorder.
Thanks again.
Miss Van Gorder.
How do you do, Mr. Barry?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You remember Lizzie Allen?
Of course. Hello, Miss
How
Allen.
do you do?
So you're spending the summer with us again?
Yes, yes. I've leased the Oaks, the home of your bank president, John Fleming.
I heard you had. I was surprised.
Why? Is there something the matter with it?
No. I was surprised because Mr. Fleming said he would never rent it.
Oh? Well, I rented it from his nephew, Mark Fleming, who has the real estate office here. He said his uncle would be gone the entire summer.
Well, that's right. Mr. Fleming's in the North Woods now with his physician, Dr. Wells. Oh, pardon me. Dale, I want you to meet my wife. We were married at Christmas time.
That must have been nice.
Believe me, it was. Oh, here she is.
How
My
do
wife,
you
Miss
do?
Van Gorder, Miss Allen.
How do you do, Mrs.
How do you do? Cornelia Van Gorder.
Yes.
Oh, well, I've read every murder mystery you've ever written. I just adored that weird one, The Private Morgue of Dr. X, even though it gave me the shivers.
Only the shivers? Scared hell out of me.
Oh.
Well, I really mean that Miss Corney killed them off in that one.
When you refer to my books, please don't call me Miss Corney.
Pardon me, Mr. Bailey. Mr. Hines is here to see you. Oh, yes. Excuse me, please. Don't be strangers now.
No, no,
I
we
should
won't.
say not.
Oh, so you're a bride.
Well, not quite.
Not since Christmas.
You know, I'm sure I've seen you.
Well, I used to be my husband's secretary here in the bank.
Of course I remember.
May I welcome our most distinguished visitor back to Zenith?
Oh, that's very charming, but,
Lieutenant Anderson.
Lieutenant Anderson, of course. Chief of Detectives of the Zenith Police Department. This is Miss Allen.
Miss Allen.
How do you do?
Lieutenant Anderson is one of our favorite citizens. He's on the bank's board of directors.
Not bad for a policeman.
You must have made a good thing of it.
Well, I saved my money, if that's what you mean.
It's near closing time, and I've got some business in the safe deposit vault. Please come and see me, Mrs. Bailey.
Oh, I'd love to.
And you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Nice to have met you. My, what a charming woman. She moved into the Oaks just the other day.
That house is a proper setting for a writer of mysteries.
Oh, it certainly is. Vic, what's the matter?
Come in here, both of you. Andy, we're in trouble. Wendell Hines came in to pick up $350,000 worth of bonds that we were holding as collateral for a loan. They were kept in our special vault. Mr. Fleming and I are the only officers of the bank who have access to that vault.
So?
The Hines bonds are gone. That's not all. Other negotiable securities are missing. From what I can gather, short of a careful check, the bank has been looted of over $1 million worth of securities.
You'll have to notify Fleming.
I wish I could talk to him. Unfortunately, he and Dr. Wells are deep in the woods. They can't be reached by phone.
What is it?
I thought I heard someone on the path coming from the lake. Had an idea it might be that guide of ours.
Oh, Sam won't show up until morning. It's a 20-mile canoe trip from here to civilization.
5 will get you 10. Sam has a message for me.
I thought you told him at the bank not to bother you.
I did, but they'll bother me. Doctor,
Yes, John.
what would you do for $500,000?
Anything short of murder.
Why not murder?
Too messy.
Too great a risk?
For $500,000? Yes.
I pinched $1 million from the bank. Well, I'm not kidding. I embezzled it.
Not that I think you wouldn't do it if you thought you could get away with it.
I got away with it. I'm not talking about currency. I took negotiable securities that could be converted into cash. I have the cash. In tens, 20s, and hundreds.
Well, I'm your doctor, not your lawyer. Why tell me this?
You'll find out why.
Who's going to take the blame for the robbery?
Bailey, the cashier. They'll never suspect me.
I like Bailey.
Well, so do I. I love the guy. I gave him his first chance.
He has a lovely little wife.
Charming girl. Was the best man.
Where's the $1 million?
In my family's tomb in Zenith. In the crypt with my father's casket.
I don't buy that, John.
No?
No. You forget that I had you in charge when you were a very sick man. When you raved in delirium. And I heard you talk about a hidden room. Now, where else could you put a hidden room except in that mansion you built? That white elephant you call the Oaks.
Look, everyone knows I have a bad heart. Now, who would doubt it if you wired the bank directors that my heart had failed? That I had fallen from a great height here in the woods, and that I was badly smashed up. You could ship the body back for burial and instruct them not to open the casket due to the condition of its contents.
Well, you realize, of course, that we'd have to have a body to put in that casket, which means that we'd have to deal with an undertaker at this end.
Of course.
Well, where do we get a body?
Couldn't we provide one of our own? How about Sam?
Sam, our guide?
Sam weighs about as much as I do. He's practically a hermit. He wouldn't be missed for a long time.
The local undertaker would know him.
Not if we made him look as if he'd been in a serious accident.
But if Bailey's going to take the blame, why'd he have to do this?
A jury might acquit him. In that case, I'd be a logical suspect. I could disappear, of course, but it's safer if they think I'm dead.
What if I don't go for this deal?
In that case, it would be too bad.
You mean you'd kill me?
What else could I do? Now that I've told you about the $1 million, I'd say you were shot in a hunting accident. Now, look, Doctor, if you can find another body instead of Sam's, it's all right with me. There's $500,000 in it for you.
I'll do my best.
I smell smoke.
So do I. What's that noise?
Look, Doctor, the woods are on fire. It's coming this way. We've got to get out of here. Out the back way.
We will. As soon as I provide that body we were talking about.
Is that you? Yes, Miss Cornelia. There's a storm coming up, and it's gonna be a snorter. The wind nearly blew the door off its hinges.
Well, that noise blew my game higher than a kite. I think I've lost some of the cars.
Oh, I'll get them for you.
Oh, I see you found the paper.
Drat that paper boy, scooting by on his bicycle, just chucked it into a clump of bushes and let it go at that. For land's sake, Mr. Vic Bailey's been arrested.
Oh?
I think.
Victor Bailey, vice president and cashier of the Zenith Bank, was arraigned before United States Commissioner Alvin Fielding, charged with the embezzlement of over $1 million. I can't believe Vic Bailey had anything to do with that robbery. Oh, well, I see our landlord is home again.
Landlord?
Mr. Fleming. Dr. Malcolm Wells is back in town with the body of John Fleming, president of the Zenith Bank, who was killed in a forest fire. Mr. Fleming will be laid to rest in his family's tomb on Friday.
And I hope he stays there.
Well, why shouldn't he?
Well, this is his house. And ever since he died, some funny things have happened here.
For instance?
The housekeeper, the cook, and the butler said that they heard strange noises at night. And the upstairs maid swore that she met a man without a face coming up the back stairs.
Oh, so that's why they quit and left me to run this place without a staff.
They didn't tell you, Miss Corney, but the truth is they was scared to stay.
But you're still here, Lizzie. Haven't you seen anything?
No. No, and even if I had, I ain't afraid of ghosts. They're afraid of me. Honest, Miss Corney, a spiritualist told me once that ghosts was allergic to me. But this Bat feller they keep talking about in the paper, I guess he'd be different.
No, I don't think you'd have the same effect on him.
Oh, dear. What are they trying to do? Drive people away from this part of the country?
Why, what does it say about the Bat?
Specialty seems to be killing women. My goodness, 2 of them in one night. All his victims died the same way, like their throats had been ripped open with steel claws.
That's a charming little caper. I'll have to try it sometime.
In a book. That ain't nothing, just something bumping against the house. That's just the wind banging a door. Pay no attention to it. Listen to this. One of his victims who lived for a moment after she was found described the Bat as a man without a face. Honest, Miss Corney, I think that woman must have been exaggerating. That's just that heavy tapestry at the top of the stairs.
I know. I've heard it before on a windy night. That sounds as if there was someone on the stairs. I know there isn't. At least there shouldn't be.
There ain't. Them's just the noises you hear in any old house on a windy night. It says here that the Bat never leaves no fingerprints.
That's understandable. Having no face, he probably has no fingers either. Lizzie! And that, I suppose, is the cat dropping its dentures.
No, I don't think so. But I think it's something should be looked into. Now, who chucked him down here?
The wind, I hope. There must be a window open up there. No, Lizzie. Let him lay. Let him sleep it off. I hope the power lines don't go down, put the lights out. Now, we'll check the windows in the living room and draw the curtains, and then we'll go to bed.
Yes, ma'am. I won't be a minute. Gordy! Oh! What's that? Oh, when I went to get the tape, I turned the latch off. I forgot to turn it on again. He's out there. He was coming in. He might have got you.
Oh, but he didn't, and he's still out there, thanks to you. Now, you hurry now, and we'll call the police.
No, I won't leave you, Miss Coney.
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am, I'm okay.
Okay.
What the fuck was that?
Creaky, freaky claw. Woo. Must be the Bat.
I mean, I understand they're talking about fucking serial killers on the loose, whatever the fuck they're talking about, but... So something I noticed about this movie is that what I realized, I may have never finished this movie upon watching it. Tonight might be the first night I actually finished this film. Like, I can remember all this shit that's going on. But I don't remember how this fucking movie ends. I especially remember that scene in that cabin with Vincent Price.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That blackmail scheme thing.
The look on his face, so good. He gives good face.
Vincent Price?
Yes.
He gives good face.
Yes.
You heard it from the mistress herself.
Amazing. He's amazing. And
she used to live in Hollywood, you know.
I did. And one of my favorite things in Hollywood growing up was just, and it wasn't even like beautiful graffiti. It was just like a tag. And it said Agnes Moorehead is God. And we used to party there. It was good. I love it. It was one of my most favorite pieces of Hollywood. Is that. Agnes Moorehead is God.
Agnes Moorehead was in the Twilight Zone.
Indeed, one of my most
one of the best
favorite
Twilight Zones.
ones. So
you remember the one where there's the lady in the farmhouse? I wonder if I can do this without giving any spoilers.
Yeah.
There's the little people in the spaceship and they come and visit her.
If you haven't seen it, absolutely see it. It is
one of the best.
Absolutely one of the best. And
if you don't like the
dialogue.
Twilight Zone, then I don't even know what you'd be doing watching this fucking show.
It's so it's really good. She's an incredible actress. Love her. Agnes Moorehead. I love Lizzie too, by the way. In this movie, Lizzie is awesome. Lizzie's like, don't worry, it's just the door slamming in the wind. And don't worry, don't think about that. It's just a heavy tapestry at the top of the stairs. So good. He does that for me. He calms me down and lets me know it's okay. It's just really, it's nothing. It's a storm outside. It's good. Until it's not. And then he's on top of that too. It's like, no. It's creepy shit. There's creepy shit going on in this movie right now. Claws and screamings. There's already been murder.
He's loose. He's on the loose.
And what do they say about him? That it looks like the girls, he killed 2 girls in one night. And they look like their throats were completely like just eaten, clawed to pieces or something. I don't know how she put it, but it was good.
It was along those lines.
Scary.
All right, let's get back to it. Movies from the Madhouse.
Operator?
Give me the police department, please.
Zenith Police Department.
This is Cornelia Van Gorder. I'm living at the Oaks.
We know about that, Miss Van Gorder.
Just a moment ago, a man tried to force his way into this house.
You're not alone there, are you? What about your servants?
Well, I have none except my chauffeur, and he's away. He won't be back until the morning. Now, there's only 2 of us here tonight, and we're going to lock ourselves in my room. Now, if any of your men see anything, will you have them call me?
I'll send officers over there right away.
Oh, thank you very much. Come on, Lizzie. We're going to sleep in my room. Well, nothing can get at us in this room now, I think. This door seems good and solid.
Like the door to a tomb.
I think that couch will be comfortable. There's some extra bedding, you know.
Yes,
closet.
ma'am.
Let's see now.
Huh? No bolt. Well, that's not so good.
What's that for? That, my good woman, is a booby trap. If anybody tries to open this transom, this will be knocked off, and we'll hear it fall. I forgot my night things, my robe, my gown, and my slippers. I'll go get them now.
Now, wait a minute, Lizzie. I'll go with you.
Now, don't you bother, Miss Cornelia. My room's just down the hall.
Lizzie, I told you to wait.
It's all right. I'll only be a second. Get in here. Get in here.
Yes?
Miss Van Gorder?
Yes?
Zenith Police Department. There's a police car just outside your house, and the officers in it have reported that there's no sign of a prowler anywhere on the grounds.
Well, the man's inside now. He's in the hall, just outside my bedroom. Have your men break through the kitchen door and search this place from top to bottom.
Okay, Miss Van Gorder. Sit tight.
I will. I have a gun, and I know how to use it. Relax, Lizzie. The police did a good job. They couldn't find anybody in here.
But we both saw him, Miss Cornelia.
All right, so he got away. But there are men on guard outside, so just try and get some rest. There's nothing can get at us here.
You've had a nightmare.
Maybe I did. But there was a bat in it, and it bit me. What? It flew in that closet.
Oh, good gracious, Lizzie, you're right.
Oh.
Operator, will you get me Dr. Malcolm Wells' office, please? No, I don't know his number, and I have no phone book up here, but this is an emergency. Will you connect me with his office, please?
Oh, dear, I'm going to get the rabies.
Hello?
Hello? Dr. Wells' office?
This is a call service. Dr. Wells is out at the moment, but if you'll give me your name and number, I'll try to locate him.
Well, this is Miss Van Gorder of the Oaks. My maid has just been bitten by a bat that may be rabid, and she must have treatment as soon as possible. And I was told that Dr. Wells was the nearest physician.
I'll try to find him for you, and if I can't, I'll send you another doctor.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Oh, he's out on a case.
Oh.
Oh, I hope it's not a delivery. A baby, I mean. They can be terribly complicated.
It never bothered me none.
Oh, Lizzie, you never had a baby.
Of course I didn't. That's why they never bothered me.
Oh, does it hurt, huh?
A little.
Dr. Wells? Are you there, Dr. Wells? Are you there, Dr. Wells? This is the operator. Your call service is on the wire. It's an emergency.
is Dr. Wells.
This is your call service, Doctor.
Oh, hello. I was just doing an experiment. I left the receiver off.
That's what I thought, but I kept trying. Miss Van Gorder at the Oaks called and said that her maid had been bitten by a bat, and she's afraid it might be rabid.
What? Oh, all right. Tell her I'll be right over there.
Who's there?
Dr. Wells.
Come in.
Good evening.
Oh, I'm so glad they found you, Doctor.
Well, I reached my office shortly after you called. How is your maid? Is she in any pain?
No, she doesn't seem to be.
Did the bat get away?
No, I believe it's still in my bedroom.
Oh, good. I'll want to examine it. There you go, Miss Allen. Now you feel better?
Doctor, have I got the rabies?
Well, I can tell you better after I've examined the bat's brain under a microscope.
That thing's got a brain?
Oh, you'd be surprised. Well, where is it?
I think the little darling is in that closet.
Oh. You know, it's a pity you leased this house, Miss Van Gorder.
Why a pity?
Well, my dear lady, I don't want to alarm you, but...
Oh, well, after tonight, nothing can alarm me.
Yes, I understand. It must have been terrifying. So many unexplainable things have happened here. There's something about the place. Your servants must have sensed it when they walked out on you. An apprehension of disaster. Well, let's see. Aha! Yes. There he is. All right, now. Take it easy. Nobody's going to hurt you. Quiet now. Quiet. He looks quite normal. Doesn't seem to be sick at all.
Oh, ain't that nice? I've been worried about him.
Well, you should be. From his appearance, I'd say that he doesn't have any infection. In which case, you've had a narrow escape. Now, you take one of those tablets I left for you, and I'll guarantee you a good night. And I'll drop in on you tomorrow.
Oh, thanks for everything, Doctor.
Now, don't worry. I can find my way out.
Oh, I know you can, but do let me help you.
Oh, don't forget that once I'm gone, you'll have to climb those stairs alone.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm armed now.
Can you, shoot one of those things without shutting your eyes?
Oh, Doctor, there are guns in every book I've ever written. I don't write about things I'm unfamiliar with. Lock the door, Lizzie.
Good night.
Yes, ma'am. Good night, Doctor.
Accident?
No, the wind blew him down.
Oh.
I think.
Oh. Did you know that young Mark Fleming leased you this house without notifying his uncle?
No, I didn't.
Well, it doesn't matter now. John Fleming is dead and Mark's his heir. But if John were alive, he would warn you to leave here, Miss Van Gorder.
Really?
Yes. It's been a tragic place for anyone who ever lived in it. Well, good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Who's out there?
Nobody you need worry about, Doctor.
Oh, it's Andy.
Oh.
That's right. Oh, good evening, Miss Van Gorder.
Good evening, Lieutenant.
Somebody sick here?
My maid was bitten by a bat.
Oh? A rabid bat?
Well, I'll know for sure when I get to my lab. I caught the bat.
It happened indoors?
In my bedroom. Yes.
How'd it get in?
Well, there are many ways a bat could get in a house.
You ought to know. I spotted this hole in the window the minute I got here.
Why?
That's where the two-legged bat got your door open.
Miss Van Gorder told me that she phoned headquarters at Zenith.
Yes, I phoned twice. The second time was after the prowler got in the house.
Weren't headquarters handy?
No, but they contacted me.
An officer came and searched the house from top to bottom, but they couldn't find the bat.
You better have this window fixed tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I certainly shall.
Listen, I'd better be going. I'm due in surgery at 8 o'clock in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
There'll be a man patrolling the grounds all night, Miss Van
Oh,
Gorder.
thank you.
And nobody inside, Andy?
Why should there be?
Well, how do you know but what the bat is hiding somewhere in the house?
I'm quite sure he isn't in the house, Doctor. Not now. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Andy.
Hello, Mark. Well, congratulations. Real estate business must be picking up. New office, new furniture.
New deal. How do you like it?
It looks expensive. Are you squandering your inheritance?
Oh, I haven't got it yet.
Well, the paper says John Fleming left his entire fortune to you.
Funny thing about that entire fortune is that we can't find it.
No kidding.
Oh, all Uncle John had in his bank account was a couple of $100. And his safe deposit box was empty.
If we don't find that missing million, mine will be empty, too.
How come?
Well, all my savings were invested in Zenith Bank stock. The examiners won't certify the bank as solvent until those stolen securities are found. So the stockholders have voted an assessment that will wipe some of us out. It's a since those securities have been converted into cash. And if I can't find that cash, I'm sunk.
Well, where are you going to look for it, Andy?
Here in Zenith. Your uncle wouldn't take $1 million on a hunting trip, would he?
You suspect Uncle John? Why, Andy, he founded the Zenith Bank. That'd be like robbing the family tomb.
You think he wouldn't?
Well, besides, Vic's Bailey's fingerprints are all over the vault. Now, they didn't find any of Uncle John's fingerprints.
Because he wiped them off.
Can the defense prove that?
They'll try to. Judy Hollander, Bailey's secretary, is a defense witness. And they believe her testimony will have a powerful effect on the jury.
Oh, well, she has a powerful effect on me. Judy's a doll.
Here's the book you mentioned, Judy.
Your newest one.
Yes, it's just been published. You can have that copy if you wish.
Oh, it's a first edition and you've signed it.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
May I serve tea now, Miss Van Gorder?
Yes, please do, Warner.
Thank you.
Well, I see you've engaged new servants.
Yes, of course.
Well, how did you persuade them to live in this house?
Well, Jane Patterson, my new housekeeper, knows this house better than you do, Doctor.
Oh?
She worked for John Fleming. And Warner was my chauffeur.
Chauffeur turned butler?
It's incredible. He can play any part at a moment's notice. Did you get a plumber, Warner?
No, we can't get a plumber for 3 days, madam.
What about that leaking pipe? The basement will be flooded in 3 days.
Now, the pipe is no longer leaking.
You mean it's dried up of its own accord?
No, not quite. I packed the elbow where the water was coming out.
Packed the elbow? Oh, where did you learn how to do that?
Well, into each life, a little rain must fall, and a careful man learns to keep himself dry. Now, is there anything else that you require, Miss Van Gorder?
No, not at the moment, Warner.
Thank you, madam.
Now, there's a character.
How long did you say that he worked for you as chauffeur?
About 3 months.
Well, I hope he doesn't have a police record. My dear Dale, it may interest you to know that the last night of his life, John Fleming told me that he loved your husband like a son. If Fleming were alive today, he would be fighting to prove Vic's innocence.
Could Mr. Fleming prove his own innocence?
Miss Van Gorder, can there be any doubt about it?
There will be when Miss Hollander testifies at Vic's trial.
Oh? You know something that we haven't heard yet, Judy?
Something I saw with my own eyes. She's not permitted to say what it was.
My dear girl, I wouldn't think of asking her. But let's assume for a moment that Fleming did steal the $1 million. Now, what would he do about it? Where is it?
Hidden someplace where he could lay his hands on it without getting caught in the act. Now, if I was writing this, instead of living in the middle of it, I'd hide it right here in this spooky old house.
Under a loose floorboard or up a chimney?
If Mr. Fleming had the nerve to steal $1 million, he'd make his plans well in advance. I'd say he'd prepare a place to hide it. Possibly when this house was being built. Now, I rented this place from Mark Fleming, his nephew. I wonder if he'd have the floor plans.
I'll ask him.
Yes. Lizzie, will you bring Mrs. Bailey the phone? Oh, you ask him now. Okay. His number is Summit 7537.
Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Summit
7537.
Not bad, eh, Andy? That means new business. Now, you see, somebody wants to buy a house. Mark Fleming speaking.
Oh, hello, Dale.
Well, hang on a minute, honey, while I see if I have him. It's Dale Bailey, all excited. Miss Van Gorder wants to know if I have the floor plans of the Oaks. Now, what would she want with the floor plans?
Well, she suggested to me that your uncle might have hidden the bank loot there. Are the plans here?
They're somewhere in the house itself. Wait a minute, there is a place where Uncle Johnny might have kept those blueprints.
What place?
Well, I heard him talk about it a good many years ago. I can't be sure of the exact location. Anyway, I don't think the old boy had the guts to steal $1 million. But if I find those plans, I'll let you know, Andy. Hello, Dale. Look, honey, I haven't seen those plans since I was a kid, but I'll come over tonight and maybe we can find them.
Thank you, Mark. We'll expect you. He seems to think they're here in the house somewhere. He's coming over tonight.
Well, that's good. Dale and Judy are my house guests for the weekend. Would you like to have dinner with us tonight?
Oh, no, thank you. I couldn't. I still have a few calls to make. You know, if Judy's testimony is going to clear Vic Bailey and implicate John Fleming, others may get the idea that there's buried treasure in this house. Don't even mention your testimony until you're actually on the stand.
Oh, I won't.
That's a smart girl, Judy, and a very lovely girl. Well, good afternoon, ladies.
Goodbye,
Doctor.
Dr. Will.
Come on, girls, let's go.
It's a goddamn mystery.
It is. Mm-hmm.
We're being led to believe that Vincent Price is the culprit.
Well, he's such a bad guy.
He's kind of a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he
It's
is,
just
though.
too easy. I mean, it's a mystery. It can't
A little
be
too
him.
easy.
It can't be him.
It can't be.
Way too easy. I think it's the cop. What do you guys think?
It could be the cop.
I'm very curious.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Email us at moviesfromthemadhouse@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
All lowercase. It's very long. I understand. Just put your minds at work.
Or while we're watching this live, chat with us, because we have a lot of fun with that. That is a good time. It's a damn good time.
Yes, whenever we're on, whenever we premiere something on YouTube, or we're on the Monster Channel or the Vortex, go ahead and get on there, chat with us.
He does it more than me, but I will be doing more of it because it is super fun. I really enjoy how hilarious everyone is. I do. I think everybody out there is pretty fucking clever. Yeah.
But you know, I think I like this movie a lot better than I used to.
I'm enjoying it. I am definitely enjoying it. Absolutely. It is a mystery. And I love mysteries.
I like a good mystery too.
Yes.
I don't watch a lot of them, but when I see a good one, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. I can't wait to see what happens next.
I know. Me
What
too.
about you?
I can't wait!
I can't wait! Okay.
So many unusual things have happened here this summer. The more I think about it, the more I realize I should be putting them down on paper. Weren't you your husband's secretary, Dale?
Yes, I was.
Do you take shorthand?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dear, if you'd like to have your mind occupied, I want you to work with me while I write the story of this fantastic criminal, the Bat.
Wonderful dinner. Thank you. It's really nice.
A good dinner, Lizzie, as usual.
Wonderful. Oh, what a lovely piece of silver. It's an original, isn't it? Yes, they still use them in England for buffet breakfasts. Some hot water in the bottom. Keeps your kippers hot, your sausages, and your scrambled eggs. Interesting. It's very useful. Really nice.
That clock hasn't struck the hour in the last 10 years, if I'm to believe what Mark Fleming told me.
Why is it angled away from the wall like that?
I don't know. Somebody must have moved it. Lizzie, very likely when she was dusting.
Wait a minute. Did you know there's a door in this paneling?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my gracious, so there is.
Maybe it opens to a secret passage.
Well, certainly to a secret something.
Exciting.
Who knows, girls? We'll be about to stumble on that missing million.
Oh, this is panel. There's a panel. There must be some gimmick to it. There always is.
Yes, it moves. It moves. It moves.
Oh,
Calling car 11. Calling car 11. Proceed to the Oaks in Zenith Township immediately. A homicide has been reported.
Okay. Proceeding to the Oaks. Notify the county coroner, Dr. Wells. Tell him to come to the Oaks at once. Horrible.
as if his throat has been torn by some creature with fangs or claws.
That's his sign. We found it on the others he killed. I'd hoped those reports that he was up to his old tricks again were pure imagination, but apparently they're based on fact. He's come back. Back to the scene of his kills. Yes, that's who I mean. That's who did this. The Bat. Who found Mark?
We all did. And his Dale and Judy and I. Lizzie was in the dining room. This is my new housekeeper, Jane Patterson. You know, she worked for John Fleming.
I know her. Where were you, Mrs. Patterson?
In the kitchen, cleaning up. I cooked the dinner tonight.
Did you know that the secret closet was here?
No. It was behind the grandfather's clock.
Well, it was I who found it, really. Noticed the clock had been moved and the door wasn't quite closed.
I'll get it.
Who is it? Mark Fleming.
As coroner, you saw the same wounds on the others. How long's he been dead?
Oh, I'd say about a half an hour. You believe it was the bat?
That's a bat's trademark.
Perhaps he's still in the house.
That's possible.
Why should he be?
Because he's looking for something, and like you, he believes it's here. And he's a persistent killer. I would advise you to get out of this house as quickly as possible, notwithstanding our expert police protection. Have you called the morgue?
They're on their way here.
Oh, good. I want to examine the body before they get here. May we take it into another room?
Yes, to the sunroom in the back.
Thank you. Give me a hand.
Excuse me. Oh, Warner, where have you been?
Well, madam, it was... Has it been an accident?
There's been a murder. Mark Fleming, the young man from whom I leased this place, was killed here tonight.
They know who did it?
Well, they believe it was the bat.
I'm sorry I had to use the front door, Miss Van Gorder, but I forgot my keys, and when I rang the bell at the kitchen door, there was no response.
Oh, this is Warner, Lieutenant. He's my butler. He was my chauffeur.
Why'd you promote him?
Well, it's very difficult to find a butler. They don't like service in the country.
Have you been a butler before?
I've served in many capacities, sir, but this was my night off, and I forgot my keys.
I heard that part. What time did you leave the house tonight?
Oh, about 6:30. I had dinner at Wiley's Roadhouse.
Can you prove where you spent the rest of the evening?
I can try.
Try hard. And don't leave the house. I'll get to you later.
Very good, sir. I shall be in my room, Miss Van Gorder, if you need me.
Yes, Warner. Surely you don't think he's...
Warren and I have met before. I can't recall where or when, but I will. There'll be a crew here shortly from headquarters, dusting for fingerprints, taking photographs. But in the meantime, Mrs. Patterson, you aren't leaving the house tonight, are you?
No, Lieutenant.
Don't. I'll talk to you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night, Miss Van Gorder.
Dale, I was with Mark Fleming this afternoon when you talked to him about the floor plans of this house. I heard him tell you he was coming here tonight.
Dale called him at my request. She told me he was coming.
Who else should I tell you that?
Judy, Lizzie.
And that nice Dr. Wells.
Dr. Wells. There are few killers who kill for the fun of it. The bat very likely is a mental case, and I'm convinced that his crimes are motivated by his mania for personal gain. There's $1 million at large, and he's going to keep on hunting for it until he lays his hands on it. Now, these young ladies are staying here tonight?
Yes, they're my house guests.
Well, when my crew arrives, we'll be busy for a while, so I'd suggest that
That we go to our rooms? That's a very good idea. Come on, girls. What about a police guard for this house tonight, Lieutenant?
You've got one. I'm going to cover this place tonight from the attic to the basement. If the bat makes another call, I'll have a little surprise for him.
Who is he? Have you any idea?
He could be anybody. So far, there are clues to his identity, but nothing we could take before a jury. I'm afraid we must look higher than the criminal world. He may be a merchant, lawyer, doctor, scientist, one of the pillars of his community. Ladies, lock your doors tonight. Stay behind them. I promise you you'll be safe. Good night.
Good night, Lieutenant. Good night.
It's a pity. So young. Well, Doctor, do you agree it was the bat?
In my report, I shall say the death was caused by the same technique used in the other killings. A paralyzing blow to the throat, followed by severe lacerations of the jugular, resulting in excessive hemorrhage.
In a layman's language, he didn't know what hit him.
Oh, he knew. But he didn't have time to think about it. You staying here tonight, Andy?
Well, until I check the doors and windows, but I'll be back bright and early in the morning.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds.
A lot of people are due for a shock when I close this case.
Yes, I'm sure they are. Good night, Andy. Don't get hurt.
Good night, Doctor.
You know, I think we'd better let you get some sleep.
Oh, Lizzie and I share this room for mutual protection. You know, one night, a storm blew the wires down, put the lights out, and I went out the next day and bought a half a dozen of these things. You better take one with you, Dale.
Oh, thank you.
We'll go across the hall now.
Are you sure there's nothing else you need? Oh, no. Quite sure. We'll be all right.
Well, if anything bothers you, you just sing out, and two strong women will come to your rescue.
Oh, nothing will bother us. Not with Andy on the job.
No. Well, good night.
Good night, Miss Van Gordon. See you in the
Don't worry, everything will be all right.
No, we won't. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, I don't think I'll sleep tonight.
Me neither.
All I can see is poor Mark Fleming staring at us. I thought that when people died, their eyes closed, as in sleep.
Don't think about it.
I'll bet you're thinking about it.
No, I was thinking of my poor husband sleeping in jail tonight. Oh, Judy, I love him so much.
What's that noise?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of fell half asleep. For a moment, I thought it was something from a dream.
It's somewhere in the house.
Yes, on the floor above. Not directly over us. Probably a room overlooking the driveway.
Should we call Miss Van Gorder?
She'll hear it. How can she help but hear it? Oh, besides, we don't want her to think we're a couple of hysterical women.
Oh, I'm about to become one.
Oh,
I've
dear.
had it for one night. Dale, you're not going out in that hall.
I want to know what's happening up there.
But Lieutenant Anderson said if we stayed behind our locked doors, we'd be safe.
Vic isn't safe locked up in that jail. Suppose that stolen money is in this house. Mark Fleming seemed to think it was. Maybe that's what somebody's looking for.
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't you hear that awful noise up there? Now, Lizzie, you just got to stay awake. The house phone and the outside phone wires have been cut, and we can't get help.
Where's that policeman?
Oh, I don't know. Something must have happened to him. Now, go on, get on your robe.
Oh, Dale, please don't go up there.
I've got to. Think what it could mean to Vic. Now, you stay here.
Oh, no. If you go, I go.
You stay here.
No, I won't let you go up there alone.
You wait here. I'm going to see what it is.
Oh, please let me go with you,
Judy,
Dale.
will you warn me if anyone comes? I'll only be a moment. Now, wait.
We're all enjoying the film.
Yes, it's super fun.
It's a super fun film. And we're going to find out what happens at the end. But I've got a special announcement.
Yay!
Woo-hoo! The Nightmare is here. You can hear him in the background.
He's cheering us on.
He's cheering and cheering and cheering. He's proud. He's the Night Mayor.
That's right.
He's proud of the people of the night for rising above, escaping from the madhouse. Which brings me to the next goddamn point. Tonight we introduce a new segment.
Yes.
Escaping from the madhouse. Or Madhouse Escape. Or Escape from Madhouse.
Yes. When we escape from the madhouse and we get out of here and show you things.
This time we went to the Eugene Coffin Races.
Yes.
So go ahead and take a look. Now, I'm going to warn you, I'm a shitty cinematographer. The place was crowded. It was really hard to get good fucking shit, you know? It was really hard to get good footage. But,
by next year we'll be doing like, interviews there and stuff, and But this was super fun. It was our first time, and it was only the second annual Eugene Coffin Races, and we had a great time. Like thousands of other people.
So many other people.
So many.
There was free bacon, though.
There was. There was free bacon.
There was.
Hallelujah.
Oh, God. That was a lifesaver, was it not?
It was. It was.
We'd also like to thank Dan Schmidt.
Oh, yes.
From the Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
I love you, Dan.
For buying us and all our kids burgers.
Oh, my God. So grateful. It was amazing. It was an incredible day altogether.
Well, let's take a look at it real quick.
Let's do it.
Our little trip to the Coffin Races. Like I said, shitty cinematographer. It just looks like shitty home movies. But everything we do looks like... Let's just watch it. Okay. Coffin Races.
We're here at the Coffin Races.
Second annual Eugene Coffin Races.
Coffin Races! We can barely see anything, but we're here.
We're going to try.
Yeah.
We're going to try and
do our best.
get some footage.
Coffin makers and ID executioners.
Right here at the finish line.
And they are off. Here they go. All right, they were pretty evenly matched on their safety.
You got to see a couple of them coming down.
Mediocre start. Oh, he's working. That's right. Here we go.
There's a truck in the way of
All right,
Here they come.
Team number 8 there in the lead. ID executioners, Couch and Carnes Coffin makers, the smoking cremains.
They were adorable, actually.
Yeah, if we were... Wish there was a better spot for shooting this stuff, but we'll get what we can. Escape to the Madhouse for the day.
Coffin Races. Escape the Madhouse. To try to bring you some coffin races.
At the very least, I might be able to get some cool footage of people in costumes and things.
Yeah.
Saw there was an astronaut around here earlier.
No, he was an eyeball. He was
he was an eyeball? An eye creature?
An eye creature. I saw some skeletons.
Looks like there's some kind of parade or something coming by. There's a Frankenstein over there. I don't know if you can see that. There's still more coming. I don't know who they all are, but...
Time turning so far 1665.
Kind of see getting ready for the next races. There's a shark and one with chains all over it.
Fastest time so far 16.86. Their craft is Rainbow of Death. They are the Rainbow Valley Design and Construction.
Oh, it fall apart?
Oh my God. What happened?
It exploded.
It exploded. There's some excitement. Hat flew off. Car exploded.
All right, check that. Team number 12.
cars.
Eugene storming down the hill.
Yeah, here we are at the Coffin Races. Got up earlier than normally to do this, and I don't think we're staying till the end. But they've set it up into a whole festival kind of a thing. All kinds of people selling shit. And yeah, if I can find something more interesting to shoot, then we'll bring you to it.
Yep.
But there's Michael. There's Michael. There are some cool costumes around. So that's pretty cool. Bloodmobile. Time to get a drink. He has the blackest eyes. The devil's eyes. Goddamn witch ritual.
Yes, get this.
Yeah.
This is the hexagram. The little girl dancing with them. Yes!
Wow.
But you was too scared to take a call.
Yes, Eugene Hexen Cruz. I was going to do this thing.
There's that kid.
I'm so glad.
Something's happening, and I'm not sure what it is. Congregation of ghouls. Old parade. I guess we'll find out in a minute.
Stay back here.
You said more alive than you all. What the heck?
Yeah, they're all done dancing. They're all making their way back.
They're awesome.
I don't know.
Oh, I love it. Beware of zombies. Yay. This makes me love my town a little bit more.
Here's sirens.
Finish line. They're coming down the hill, but we can't see them from here. But we'll be able to see the finishes.
Here they come. Let's bring them home. EPD of the line.
Oh, they won. I love that little fire truck.
I was rooting for the firefighters.
I was rooting for
Down where they were parking some of the cars.
Yeah.
Honk the horn and get out. Yeah, you thought there was a very good. All right.
So awesome.
Get that. There you go.
Creepy zombie horrors with its eye falling
Awesome.
out. It's so good. So cool.
Yeah, they just set us up to win. That's just me. Well, I mean, usually that's how brackets go.
Right, so the fastest can make it to the end.
I thought it was a good day.
It was a great day. There was chaos. It was insane.
There was a little.
It was hard to get there. It was hard to find a place to park. But once we finally got there was still more chaos, but we had a lot of fun. There were a lot of great cars and some crazy dances.
There was some crazy dances.
We got
I
to
like
see
the
the
crazy
witches,
dances.
Hexenbrut. Got to see
I like
the
those
Eugene
witches.
Witches Hexenbrut, which is awesome. And the flash mob. That was pretty cool. All those crazy zombies.
I liked it.
Me too.
I dug it.
Yeah, next year we're gonna be all over the place. All
Well-
over the place at Coffin Races.
This is far from the first time that this is far from the last time that we are going to have an excursion.
Indeed.
We've been doing this almost a year,
Yes.
and we have so much more planned for you for the next year. Music videos, ghost huntings,
Because I speak to the
cooking
dead.
shows, bartending classes,
Yeah.
all kinds of shit.
Interviews with all sorts of wild people that you probably have never heard of in your whole life. But it doesn't matter. You'll enjoy them. They'll be characters. Be good. You'll meet all sorts of folks. And maybe some graveyards and readings, because I want to do more of the witchery and teach you some witchcraft.
I forgot more of the witchery.
Yes, more of the witchery.
We gotta get back to the movie.
That's right, we should.
We're gonna run out of time. Okay, let's check out the end of The Bat.
Give her to me. I'll look after her.
Poor baby.
Judy. The bat.
Yes, the bat. He caught her at the head of the stairs. We saw him rushing down the stairs as we came out of the room. I hurled that after him. I hit him, I believe. I'm going to cover this place from attic to basement, you said. Well, what were you covering when that poor child was murdered? Where were you?
I saw a man outside in the grounds. I went out there and hunted him. I heard him in among the trees, and so I followed the sound of him as far as the brook down near the back road. And then I lost him. I'd rather give my own life than have this happen to Judy. But I told you to stay in your rooms and lock your doors and stay there. What was she doing at the head of those stairs?
That was my fault. They heard a strange noise. Heavy pounding in one of the rooms on the third floor. We all heard it.
I wanted to see what it was. Judy, I wish she wouldn't let me go out by myself. I made her stay on the balcony.
What about your new butler?
Oh, well, he's in his room, I suppose.
Oh, Mrs. Patterson.
Oh, yes.
Did you know what happened here?
No, sir, but I heard the screams. I went to call Warner. We have rooms on the same floor, but he wasn't in his room. His bed hasn't been slept in.
If Mrs. Patterson heard the screams, Warner could certainly hear them.
You're quite right, sir. I heard them.
Oh, you did? And where were you?
Outside in the grounds.
Miss Holland has been murdered.
No.
Oh, so you're surprised. Shocked. Well, I've seen better performances. I remember you now. Your name's not Warner. I've got a circular in my office with your picture on it. The Chicago police not so long ago were hunting for you in connection with the robbery.
You're right again, sir. And they found me and they tried me, and I proved my innocence, and I was acquitted.
That could have been a lucky break. Where were you when this child was killed?
I told you before, sir, outside.
What were you doing there?
I was following you. I saw you leaving the house, and it seemed that you were hunting someone. I thought you might need some help. Oh, yes, sir. I followed your flashlight down through the trees. Then it disappeared. And then suddenly, as I was staring out into the darkness, I was struck by something on the back of the head. The next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground. I realized I'd been knocked out.
I wish you had been knocked out. But then we'd have found you with your mask still on your face. You were hit here in this house with this poker as you were rushing down those stairs after that child was killed.
Oh, no, sir. You can't pin this on me. I'm not the bat. I've never killed. I couldn't kill. I won't take the rap for this.
Well, Doctor, we have another case for the county coroner. You see, the bat came back. Why did you come back, Doctor?
Well, I had an accident about a mile down the road. The right rear wheel of my car came off, and I plunged into the ditch. This was the nearest house, so I came here to call for help. I thought I'd find you around, Andy.
Physician, heal thyself. You must have been hit by something on the back of your head.
I told you I had an accident.
So you did, Doctor. So you did. I could be wrong. But maybe I'm not. We shall see.
All right, Dale, let's start a new chapter. For days, the murders held the headlines. Lieutenant Anderson grilled us and ransacked the house from top to bottom. Warner was not placed under arrest, but his every move was watched.
At night, except for a detective on guard in the house, the police and the reporters left us alone. And on one of those nights, without telling Lizzie or anyone else, I pursued a secret investigation of my own. It was in an empty room on the 3rd floor where we kept our trunks and other things.
bright idea to kill me in my own lab and let people think that I'm the bat. But you had to kill me first. What was it to be, ambush? And clever as you are, you're not smart enough to do that. Nor were you smart enough to find the money, though you came quite close to it. But I know where it is. And when you're dead with that sign pinned on your chest, I'm going to collect it and live happily ever after. He destroyed himself. How true that will be. Well, goodbye, Bat. Here's a serum that will heal you whether you're rabid or not.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Miss Cornelia. Miss Cornelia. Where would she be going at this time of night? Well, land's sake. I never. Mr. Davenport. Mr. Davenport. Oh, a fine thing. The door unbolted, the chain off, and you asleep on the job. Wait till Lieutenant Anderson hears about this. Come on, wake up. What's the matter with you?
I don't know. My head hurts. My whole body's numb.
Here, take a sip of this. Try to snap out of it. I'll be back in a minute. Hurry, will you? It's Lizzie. I'm terribly worried. I can't find Miss Cornelia anywhere, and something's happened to the policeman. I don't know what. Get Warner. Bring him to the drawing room. Tell him we need him. Are you all right now?
Yeah, I'll be all right in a minute. I remember now. I took a drink of wine from that decanter there. Miss Van Gorder told me to help myself.
She wouldn't put nothing in it?
Well, somebody did. Somebody who knew I was on duty here.
Then it was somebody that got Miss Van Gorder. I can't find her anywhere. Upstairs, downstairs, or in the basement. I told the housekeeper to get Warner.
Lieutenant Anderson will want to know about this. Hello. Yeah, this is Davenport at the Oaks. We've got trouble here. Well, for one thing, I was drugged. Yeah. but I must have been knocked out because the maid tells me Miss Van Gorder's missing. Well, you better call Anderson and let him know. He's not at home. Well, where is he? Out on a case? What case? Dr. Wells. What else did they tell you about it?
Oh, hurry, will you? We've got to find Miss Cornelia.
Okay. Lieutenant Anderson is out on a case. Dr. Wells was found dead in a room next to his garage, murdered.
Dr. Wells.
There's something queer about the killing of Wells, but headquarters won't talk about it.
Lizzie, Warner isn't in his room. There's no sign of him anywhere.
And I was supposed to keep an eye on that guy.
Where's Miss Cornelia? That's what I want to know.
Wait a minute. Didn't you say that the chain and the bolt were off of the front door?
I certainly did.
Well, maybe Miss Van Gorder went outside.
Oh, she never would. We better look.
I can't breathe. There's no air.
Miss Cornelia.
Oh, Miss Van
Miss
Gorder.
Cornelia. Miss Cornelia.
Miss Van Gorder.
Look. There's a light in that room on the 3rd floor. Were you up there tonight?
Well, of course I was, but I turned the lights out before I came downstairs.
Then Miss Cornelia might have turned them on again. That's why we're going to look first. Come on. Cornelia. Miss Cornelia. Miss Cornelia.
Yes, Lizzie. I'm here. Right here. Come to the mantelpiece.
Here we are, Miss Van Gorder. What do we do now?
Over the mantel, there are 5 panels. Strike it with your hand.
Which panel did you say, Miss Van Gorder?
Oh, I can't. I just can't.
Miss Van Gorder, which panel? We couldn't hear you.
She said strike it. What difference does it make which panel? Strike them all. Look. Oh, it's all right now. It's all right, dear. Lizzie's here.
Feeling better?
Yes, much better.
We'll take you to your room.
Oh, no, you won't. I'm going to stay right here. I'm quite all right. Oh, how blessed it is to breathe without an effort. You know, no one knows how sweet the air can taste until someone shuts it off for a moment. That room is just like a box. When the mantelpiece closed, it seemed like all the air was drawn out of it. Look, there it goes again!
Let it close. I can open it from in here. There's a control panel behind this blueprint. Electric motor under the trap door here. Once the door is open, you can keep it that way. I believe that the fireplace in this other room opens the same way. And it does.
I tried to find this, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it was back at this blueprint here. Well, it's quite a setup. Too bad we can't open that safe in the same way. Take an expert to crack this box or a shot of nitro.
Well, maybe that's what the bat had in mind.
Could be. Seems he's on the prowl tonight.
Miss Van Gorder, Warner has disappeared.
And Dr. Wells has been murdered.
Dr. Wells?
Lieutenant Anderson's on that case right now.
Well, does he know what happened here tonight?
They got word to him. He'll be here any minute.
What's that noise? Miss Van Gorder, the garage is on fire.
Scott, look at that.
Lizzie, put that light out in the other room. Now, where are you going?
To report the fire.
Well, you just stay right here.
Miss Van Gorder, the garage.
Well, let it burn. You watch the stair. Can't you see that fire was set to get us out of the house?
Out of the house? Were you talking about the...
Yes, I'm talking about the bat. Now that the lights are out, he'll think his trick has worked, and we've gone. He'll be here any minute.
Well, so will Lieutenant Anderson.
I hope so, but the bat will be here first. And he'll kill again if we're in his way. We've got to be as clever as he is.
But you'll be safer downstairs. I'll take care of you.
Well, the others can go, but I'm going to stay right here.
All right, but get out of sight.
Let's face it, ladies, and get it over with. Others have seen my face before they died, but I'll have to deny you that pleasure. This would make a good scene for your book, Miss Van Gorder, but I'm afraid you'll never write it.
That is Warner. I could tell.
You misjudged me, Miss Ellen.
Warner!
I don't like being a murder suspect, Miss Van Gorder. I was headed for a plane, but halfway to the airport, I changed my mind and came back. I'm glad that I did.
Why, it's Lieutenant Anderson. Yes, it was Anderson. He'd discovered the secret of the hidden room and was waiting to get into it and open up the safe. We found the money in it, a little over $1 million in tens and twenties and hundreds. Good old Andy. With all his ill-gotten gains invested in bank stock. It's rather a clever way to hide stolen money. In the open, as it were, and so respectable. But don't try it. No matter how clever you are, you can't hide murder. Well, that's it, Dale. That's the end.
Well, it was the fucking cop the whole time.
Dirty copper.
That's the way police are.
Lieutenant Anderson.
Donuts and money. That's all they care about.
So wrong.
Now, a few things. First off, yes, the decoration on the table is different
There are different things.
than it was earlier in the episode.
I'm different.
Yes, she's different. I've replaced her with a new model of dandelion. I'm dressed a little different. And let me explain why. Because we had this terrible goddamn hardware malfunction. And the last segment of the episode, we usually do these things in one night.
Yes, we do.
The last segment of the episode did not get recorded.
No,
and
it didn't.
Right when I went to edit it and get it ready to go, it was Halloween time.
That's right.
Halloween time.
That's right.
Everything was broken and it was Halloween time. And we did not have time to finish the goddamn episode. And that took 2 weeks. 2 weeks of Halloween. We shot this goddamn shit in fucking September. The last part. Now it's November. The goddamn... That timeline might be wrong. I think we started shooting this in October. But nonetheless.
It really does.
Nonetheless, we got busy with Halloween.
That's right, you know, life.
And then when Halloween's ended, then there was sick children all over my house.
Yes.
Where they came from, I don't know.
I do.
It's like she just unloaded and she was just like, oh yes, the orphanage is sick and they can't take care of them. Bring them here. The house was crawling with... There were 18 different children crawling on me at any given time.
Sick.
All sick. Really sick. Yeah. All kinds of sickness too. Remember the leper?
Yeah.
You remember that leprosy kid?
Yeah. He left pieces of himself all over the place.
I know.
Ears, a nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once he lost the nose, I was done. That was yesterday. And so we kicked his ass out on the street. And now he was the last one. So we finally were like, okay, we can finish the episode. It was a goddamn cop the whole time.
It was a cop the whole time. But Agnes Moorehead, she is marvelous.
Agnes Moorehead usually is.
Great. Did you know that she was in Citizen Kane?
What?
She was in Citizen Kane.
Was
she was in Bewitched. She was in a lot of radio shows. She's pretty fabulous.
I do like Agnes Moorehead. We could talk about Vincent Price now, too.
Yes, please.
We could.
Let's do.
Here's the thing. If you're watching this show, then you are probably at least somewhat familiar with Vincent Price. You don't need me to give you a fucking history lesson on Vincent Price.
Hey, maybe there are new people that don't even know who Vincent Price is. Vincent Price is magnificent.
If they are interested in what Vincent Price is, they can find a lot more people, a lot more qualified to talk about it than I am.
Wow.
I can say he was born in Louisiana. He made, which you wouldn't think. He sounds like, I don't know what he sounds like. I don't know what Vincent Price's accent is like, but it doesn't sound like a southern accent to me. But he was from a very well-to-do family. And again, I'm giving the abridged version because most people can get all of this basic information. I want to go in a different direction, but I'll since you press me, I'll do this. Vincent Price, he started in theater. He was in some like romantic comedies and shit in the 30s. In the 40s, he did star in The Invisible Man Returns. That could be seen as a precursor to what his life would become, although it wasn't seen that way at the time. It wasn't until the mid-50s when he was in House of Wax. You know, before that he had been in a dozen other fucking films, you know, and played all kinds of parts, medieval parts, leading man parts, romantic comedy parts, all this shit. And if you're familiar with Vince Price, you know that he's absolutely capable of doing all of that shit.
That's right.
But House of Wax cemented it. And the rest is history as far as the history of Vincent Price goes, you know. What I wanted to talk about was the 4 stages of Vincent Price's career.
Oh.
There's also something I want to mention is that after the malfunction went on, I was like, well, what we have, I'm going to edit down. And when I got it edited down, I was like, there's still a lot of fucking time to kill. So that's why I wanted to bring up all these things, because we need to make this shit 2 hours.
All right.
And we might... Shit, I'm going to go to edit this later, and I'm going to be like, this is going way over 2 hours, and then I'll figure out what to cut out.
You know, your
but,
gaze
we'll see.
Is so It's so hypnotizing.
Yes, well, I'm what they call an organic hypnotist. I never had to learn the art. I just do it.
It's incredible. Every time you look at me, I'm like...
I've hypnotized everyone I've ever met, and I don't even own a watch.
I don't know what's so different. I mean, you were hypnotizing before, but wow. I don't know about you folks, but
Well,
I
we've
feel a
seen
little
it. We've
dizzy.
seen it in what, Crybaby? We've seen it in so many movies. If you put spinny spirals at someone, then they will get hypnotized. That is the way it is. But that takes us away from the subject.
I'm sorry.
Now, I'm skipping the 40s because Vincent Price didn't have any of the roles he's known for in the 40s. But I'm going 50s. 50s Vincent Price was one thing. 50s Vincent Price was the Bat. The Bat, he played really close to the same character he played in House of Wax, that he played in The Fly, roughly that he played in House on Haunted Hill. Although in House on Haunted Hill, he was just the smart ass the entire time.
Yeah, he was an ass. He was total
Yes.
dickhead, and I loved it. It's terrible.
The 60s, you go into your Corman years. You got your Mask of the Red Death, your Tomb of Lygia, your not Conqueror Worm, that's later. I mean, to get to that later. But you got your, you got the Peter Lorre, Boris Karloff movies, The Raven,
Yes.
Comedy of Terrors. Great fucking movies, great horror comedies. Those are the great straight comedies. They're not really horror films. They play with the morbid, you know. The 70s. Now, people don't agree with me on this. People don't agree with me on this. A lot of people think House on Haunted Hill is his best work. A lot of people think the Corman shit is his best work. I think the 70s was the best time for Vincent Price. I really do.
Well, that's because you love Theater of Blood.
I love Theater of Blood.
Which I love too.
I love The Abominable Dr.
The
Phibes.
Abominable Dr.
And what has made its way into my favorites, as I mentioned earlier, The Conqueror Worm,
Oh,
a.k.a.
God,
Witchfinder
yes.
General. That might be the greatest acting performance that Vincent Price ever gave.
He is so evil in that movie.
Well, what was different about that film was that no matter how evil he was in a film, you always liked him.
Yeah,
And in Witchfinder General, The Conqueror Worm,
yeah.
you did not. You did not like him. There was nothing likable about that character.
Absolutely. That character is terrifying to the bone and infuriating all at the same time.
Yep.
He played Matthew Hopkins, who is a terrifying witch hunter that came long after many, many witches were killed and murdered. And so his performance was undeniably terrifying for me.
It's a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
And then you got the 80s, where Vincent Price isn't even really starring in films anymore, but the 80s is when I got to know Vincent Price. You know, I was born in 78. So by 87, I was well versed in what Vincent Price was into because I had seen Thriller. And you had him as aging old horror star. Whenever you wanted somebody creepy in something, shit, I bet the 80s, more than any other decade, Vincent Price starred in more Halloween specials. You know? I mean, he was on the goddamn Muppets as a vampire.
Yes.
And I don't believe he ever actually played a vampire in the real movies. Did he? Do you remember Vincent Price playing a vampire?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. We could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I remember coming home from school and Vincent Price had just died. And A&E was showing a biography about Vincent Price. And and then a couple years later, I got super into horror movies, and that was the Christmas. I've talked about it on this show before. The Christmas where I was given like 3 Vincent Price movies and a copy of Zombie, the Fulci film, and a couple books on horror movies and all this shit. And I just, you know, that leads to whatever the hell this is I'm doing with my life now.
confuse you?
Oh, no, I was just thinking about life. Anyway, I have enjoyed very much watching The Bat with you, talking about Vincent Price with you.
Yes, and Agnes Moorehead.
And Agnes Moorehead, star of one of the best Twilight Zones ever. That's one of those things we talked about earlier too, but it's easy to forget because we did it fucking weeks ago. This episode has taken us the longest to do out of any of them. But here it is, and now we're going to start doing them quick, and you're going to see them all the goddamn time, whether you want to or not. And when you don't want to watch it, your wife is going to beg you to watch it. And when your wife doesn't want to watch it, your kid is going to beg you to watch it. And when your kid doesn't want to watch it, your dog is going to howl and whine until you put it on and he hears the sweet voice of Mistress Dandelion.
Oh.
And that's how we get you. Time to get back in your straitjackets. Good night. You have been watching Master Seth, the Master of Ceremonies.
And Mistress Dandelion, the Queen of Creep.
And we appreciate you coming to visit us horror patients at the Madhouse.
Until next time.
We'll see you in your nightmares.